I'm sure that by now I really don't need to introduce this video at all because everyone in the anime community has seen it or has heard about it. This has been the talk of the anime community for the past couple of days because it was just released 2 days ago, and the amount of detail that this fan animation, I want to reiterate that this is a fan animation. The amount of detail that they put into this entire thing was incredible. Now, I have talked about it on my TikTok. I know I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen some of the videos that I've been making on it, but I haven't fully seen the entire thing from beginning to end. I haven't actually paid attention to all of the details, just a couple of things here and there that some people were pointing out on my videos that I decided to talk about. So I thought I would take the time, basically watch the entire video from beginning to end with you guys, give you my insights, and explain a little bit more deeper the information that is being shared, just because there's a lot that is being given to us, at least for those of you that are interested in being spoiled and don't mind it, because right now the animation is adapting volume 14 and 15, which means there's a good chunk of information that wasn't put here or there is no context to it. So I wanted to watch the entire thing from beginning to end, give you guys some context, and let's just see how it goes. Huge shout out to, and I hope I'm not saying this wrong, Lawen Tuzi studio. They did incredible work on this, and the fact that they animated 12 minutes of it is incredible. So huge shout out. They're here on YouTube. Make sure to check them out. Right off the bat, we are starting with the famous incident of the rat in the basement. For those of you that don't understand what is going on here, Roxy basically got poisoned by a rat that gave her this huge disease that basically crystallizes her entire body. Rudeus tried to save her by trying to find a cure because he needed god detoxification magic, but he doesn't really know how to use it. So he had to break into the church to try to get it, and then he wasn't able to do it on time. So by the time that he made back, she was crystallized, and then she basically died. Actually, there's one piece missing of information in this. Roxy was actually pregnant at this point. She doesn't look it, but she was pregnant at this point. So that makes this even deeper than what is actually being shown. This also wasn't explained. So right now, the reason that Sylphie... She's asking why. Why can it be me? The reason that Sylphie is breaking down like that is because immediately after Roxy died, Rudeus went on a complete downward spiral. He started going to bars and getting drunk. He started finding hookers he started finding women that sell their body for specific services. And he was just completely neglecting Sylphie. So Sylphie tried to stay with him and try to keep him on track, but Rudeus just was completely lost after Roxy's death. Here it changes the perspective again because basically Rudeus spent a decent amount of time trying to find himself again, and he was completely lost to the point that Sylphie ended up leaving him, and she joined with Ariel in her coup d'etat basically that was going on. But because there was a lot of war going on and Ariel was the prime suspect of assassination attempts several times, this is what Rudeus finds whenever he finally gets wind of where Sylphie is. One of the most gruesome, detailed deaths I have ever seen. And this is the panel that I wish I'd never have to see again. Because here's the thing. There's a couple of details that are missing as well. There's these two posts. In these two posts, one of them is supposed to be Ariel, if I remember correctly. And the other one is supposed to be, I can't remember his name, Luke. That's what his name was. He's supposed to be here with them. Now, here's the thing. When Rudeus found Sylphie, not only was she like this, dismembered because her arm had been torn apart, she was basically dead. There were crows that were eating her skin, and there were people literally stoning her dead body as Rudeus found her like this. It was a horrible, gruesome event. And here's the thing that the animation studio did. They switched over to this view of Ares dead in the background, and you can see this like yellow tint to the entire image. After Sylphie's death and when Rudeus found her, he basically burned down the entire country. He went on a murdering spree and just killed everyone in sight, which the animation studio didn't include that, and that's perfectly fine. They can't really include everything, but just want to clarify to you guys what happens in between here and there. And here's the thing, the only way that he finds out about all of this is because of this scene right here. This is old Rudeus, which means Rudeus from the future. He was able to find time-traveling magic and he went back to the past. He gave Rudeus a diary of everything that he did, and that is how Rudeus was able to find out everything that happened. Rudeus this Rudeus, the one that we're watching right now, didn't actually live through that. In the same timeline, just a different branch from the future, he lived through all of that. So he decided to go back in time, and he gave current Rudeus. He gave current Rudeus a diary that explained everything that happened and what would happen if he continued following the teachings or whatever it is that Hitogami was giving him. It wasn't necessarily a dream that happened in the light novel. It was more like Rudeus basically found the diary, he spoke with old Rudeus, and then he started just having those nightmares. But it wasn't that he figured all that out through a dream. This entirely happened exactly this way. Rudeus went over to Nanahoshi and he basically asked her for help because he needed to fight Orsted. But Nanahoshi didn't really want to help with that because obviously Orsted is the one that saved her and helped her throughout her entire beginning of being transferred into this world. But she ended up thinking that it might be for the best, so she did help Rudeus to at least set up a trap to lure Orsted into a specific spot, not necessarily that she helped with the battle. So Rudeus went ahead and asked Zanoba to help out with creating the gauntlet, or the magic armor. This is a little bit exaggerating because the armor was supposed to be just a little bit over 3 feet tall, and this just seems to be like 4 times the height of Zanoba, and Zanoba wasn't that short, so they definitely made it a little bit bigger than what it actually is. This is exactly how it happened in the light novel as well. Pretty much like the day before Rudeus set out on his adventure to try to fight Orsted, the entire family had dinner, and that's where Rudeus broke up the news for everyone. Yep, Roxy announced that she was pregnant. The reason that he is thanking them, and this wasn't really explained, is because Rudeus never quite felt accepted by anybody. He still felt like an outcast. He still felt like he didn't deserve to have a happy life. He didn't feel like he deserved any of it. So whenever Roxy, Sylvie, or anybody of his 3 wives got pregnant by him, he thanked them because that made him feel like they accepted him. They saw him as good enough. Exactly how it went down. Rudeus went and set out a trap for Orsted by basically preparing this. If I remember correctly, in the light novel, it was more like a city that looked like it was just recently developed, not necessarily just that one tower. Small detail that it's not really relevant per se, but I believe at this point when Orsted held the door, something pricked him. And because at this point we kind of see in like Orsted's point of view whenever the story is going about. And if I remember correctly, Orsted did grab the door and something pricked him, but he just didn't really pay much attention to it. Then there was the box in the middle. And now is when it's about to get good. Not like it hasn't been already. Yeah, exactly how it went down. And just like that, that was Rudeus' first attack on Orsted when he was busy basically trying to pay attention to the ring and Nanahoshi's message. He basically just threw lightning on him and just tried to electrocute the crap out of him, but it destroyed the entire location. And then he froze the entire area that was nearby with Orsted in it, trying to freeze him, and dropped a boulder on him, kind of like a Madara meteorite jutsu type of thing. Just like that is exactly how it went down. They're doing such an amazing job staying true to the canon light novel of it. It's quite impressive. But none of it phased Orsted in any way. Rudeus was definitely pissing his pants right now just because he is just completely traumatized by Orsted. So seeing Orsted, he's thinking that he actually did something. Here we go with the Gatling gun. Now here's the thing. Right before Rudeus starts shooting, Orsted actually comes out from that like huge meteorite that Rudeus dropped on him. And that's when he notices Rudeus, and that's when Rudeus starts to panic. If I remember correctly, I might be wrong, but Rudeus panics and starts shooting at him after Orsted notices, not the other way around. Here, the hair is turning white, and the reason I made a video on this just recently, the reason why Rudeus' hair is turning white is for the exact same reason that Sylphie's hair turned white. Whenever mana gets used way too much to the point of past exhaustion, to the point of almost dying, the hair, because of the stress of it, starts turning white. It happened to Sylphie when she was falling. Just Sylphie's was to such a degree that her hair is never going back to green. It completely stayed white. That's because she used everything that she had in order to try to break the fall so she wouldn't die. Rudeus, during the battle with Orsted, basically the same thing happened. Now, this in the videos happened much earlier than I remember. If I remember correctly, it happened towards the end of the battle when Rudeus' hair started going white. But this did happen indeed. Yeah, Rudeus freaking out and running was exactly the way that it did. Such well choreographed and animated. It is incredible how good of a job they did with this fight. And they only did this as just because they like it. Like, no one paid them to do it, which is incredible. They have to get some sort of work from this. It was incredible. Quite frankly, this is my favorite part of the entire video, just because of how Orsted took this stance and he started basically blocking every shot. This, I could watch this over and over again. For those of you that don't know the specifics of the magic armor, the way that it was done is that the Gatling gun can shoot, if I remember correctly, about 5 of those stone bullets per second. And the shield was created using one of the magic stones that they got from one of the scales of the Manatite, I think is what it's called, the Hydra that they fought when Paul lost his life. They basically used one of the scales to make a magic stone and put it into this shield, which basically helps by stopping magic. It kind of it has this effect of disturb magic, which helps Rudeus block any ability that Orsted might use on him. Let me just say something. That sword that Orsted pulled out, just think of it as a god-grade sword. And just like they showed it here, it cut through Rudeus's armor like it was butter. So well done. Yep, just like that, Orsted had no idea who was the one that was battling him the entire time. He just thought someone was coming at him, and then he went back. But after Rudeus disengaged from the armor, that's when he found out exactly who it was. Exactly all true. Basically, after what happened was, whenever old Rudeus went back in time and gave Rudeus the diary, you guys have seen it already, that Man God can read Rudeus's mind and see his thoughts. So what happened was that after he saw that old Rudeus went back in time and warned him of what the Man God was doing, he basically gave Rudeus one of two options. Either you fight against Orsted and kill him, or I will make sure that I kill everyone in your family. Which one do you choose? Rudeus obviously was very scared of everything that happened, so he decided to basically side with the Man God, since his only other option was to let the Man God kill his entire family. He already saw what the Man God was capable of because of old Rudeus. So he went back, and now during his fight with Orsted, he's telling him, this is what happened, this is the reason why I came here, and why I'm fighting you even though I was having my happy life. And this also went exactly like that, because Orsted, since Rudeus was an apostle of Hitokami, Orsted also threatened to basically, if I remember correctly, kill his entire family. But Rudeus just said, do whatever you want to me, just don't destroy the world, don't kill my children. He did say that. And he begged Orsted to stop going after the Man God. This was a spell that Rudeus tried to use to basically suicide while taking Orsted out with him. He just tried to use everything he had to blow himself up and try to take Orsted. And he was saved by the three main Pokemon: Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle. The reason that Ares showed up was because Rudeus actually sent a letter to her, and he just basically apologized for everything that happened, all of the misunderstandings, everything, and just told her, I'm gonna go fight Orsted. That's why Ares basically went, stopped her training, and tried to find Rudeus to help him out with this battle. And that is the end of it. I know I've said it several times already, but I'm going to repeat it again. This was an incredibly well done video. They actually kept it very canon to the story. There were a couple of details here and there that they jumped over, but obviously they can't animate the entire season in just one 12-minute video. It was incredibly well done. There was a lot of information that was given to the people that were watching, and those of you that were spoiled by watching and just seeing how good it was, I thought I'd give you a little bit of context regarding it. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. For those of you that already know, did they stay true to the canon light novel of the story as I think they did? Or is there something that you would have changed?